The stars looked peaceful that night, but millions of light-years away, alien eyes watched Earth with cruel interest. Commander Crone sat in his massive control room aboard the entertainment ship Stellar Viewer, his 6 arms working different control panels while his large black eyes focused on the screens before him. "Perfect," he whispered in his clicking language as images of human cities appeared on the monitors. "These creatures will make excellent subjects." The Vexarian Collective had built the galaxy's biggest entertainment empire by finding primitive worlds and turning their inhabitants into cosmic television shows. For over 300 years, they had discovered dozens of species and broadcast their struggles, wars, and daily lives to billions of alien viewers across the galaxy. The formula was simple: find a world where the inhabitants didn't know about space travel, watch them secretly, and edit their footage to make them look foolish. Earth was their newest discovery, and Commander Crone knew it would be their biggest hit yet. "These humans are perfect," said his assistant, Zix, as she manipulated the viewing controls with her tentacles. "They fight each other constantly, they destroy their own environment, and they believe they are alone in the universe. The audience will love laughing at them." On the main screen, footage played from different human cities. Seoul's busy streets filled with people rushing to work. New York's towering buildings reaching toward the sky. London's ancient architecture mixed with modern technology. To the aliens, these looked like the amusing activities of clever animals who thought they were important. "Look at this one," Crone said, pointing to footage of Dr. Minho Park working late at Seoul Space Observatory. The human scientist was studying radio signals from deep space, completely unaware that alien technology was watching his every move. "He's searching for signs of alien life while we record him from orbit. The irony will entertain our viewers for years." The Stellar Viewer was invisible to human technology, protected by advanced shields and positioned far beyond Earth's moon. Inside the ship, hundreds of Vexarian workers operated cameras, edited footage, and prepared broadcasts for their galactic audience. They had been watching Earth for 6 months, learning human languages and studying their behavior patterns. "Sir, the preliminary footage is ready for broadcast," reported another assistant, his blue skin glowing with excitement. "We've edited together clips of human conflicts, natural disasters, and social problems. The galactic audience will think these creatures are completely barbaric." Crone smiled, showing his sharp teeth. The Vexarians had perfected the art of making primitive species look ridiculous. They would take footage of humans helping each other during disasters and edit it to look like chaos. They would show human scientific achievements and make them appear accidental. They would broadcast human art and culture while commentators made jokes about how simple and crude it was. "What about the manipulation protocols?" Crone asked. "Already in place," Zix replied. "We've identified key communication satellites, weather control systems, and financial networks. With small adjustments, we can create the perfect disasters and conflicts for better television." This was the Vexarians' secret weapon. They didn't just observe primitive species, they gently pushed them toward more entertaining situations. A small adjustment to a weather satellite could create a storm in the right place. A tiny computer virus could cause a stock market crash. A disrupted communication signal could prevent peace talks from succeeding. The humans would never know their struggles were being amplified for alien entertainment. "Begin with something small," Crone ordered. "Create a minor communication failure during the next international meeting. Make it look natural, but ensure it causes enough confusion for good footage." On another screen, live footage showed human families going about their daily lives. Children played in parks, unaware that their laughter was being recorded for alien audiences who would find their innocence amusing. Adults worked hard to build better lives, not knowing their efforts were being edited to look foolish. "The beauty of this system," Crone explained to his newest crew member, "is that these creatures will eventually thank us. In a few years, after we've made enough profit from their entertainment value, we'll reveal ourselves as their benevolent guides. They'll be so grateful for our advanced technology and wisdom that they'll forget we ever watched them without permission." The crew member nodded eagerly. "And if they resist?" "They won't," Crone said confidently. "We've studied dozens of primitive species. When faced with our superior technology, they always submit. These humans will be no different. Look at them, they still use chemical rockets to barely escape their own atmosphere. They fight wars with metal projectiles and explosive chemicals. They are centuries behind our capabilities." As if to prove his point, the screens showed footage of human space programs. Rockets struggling to lift off from Earth, astronauts floating clumsily in primitive space stations, scientists celebrating discoveries that Vexarian children learned in basic education. "Schedule the first broadcast for next week," Crone commanded. Title it The Primitive Creatures of the Third Rock. Market it as our funniest show yet. The crew worked excitedly to prepare Earth's debut as galactic entertainment. None of them noticed the small anomaly in their monitoring systems, a brief spike in organized radio transmissions from the planet below. Dr. Minho Park and his colleagues at Seoul Space Observatory had detected something unusual in the cosmic background radiation, but the aliens dismissed it as primitive human technology malfunctioning. Sir, call the technician, should we be concerned about their detection equipment? Crone laughed, his voice echoing through the control room. Concerned? About these primitives? They can barely detect radio signals from their own solar system, much less decode our advanced transmissions. Continue monitoring, but don't worry about discovery. These humans couldn't threaten us if they had 1,000 years to prepare. The stellar viewer continued its silent orbit, recording everything, preparing to turn humanity into the galaxy's newest source of entertainment. Commander Crone had no idea he was making the biggest mistake in Vexarian history. Dr. Yuna Kim rubbed her tired eyes as she stared at the computer screen showing strange patterns in the radio signals. It was 3 in the morning at the Korean Space Research Institute, and she had been working for 16 hours straight. Something was wrong with the data, but she couldn't figure out what. These readings don't make sense, she whispered to herself, adjusting her glasses and leaning closer to the monitor. The cosmic background radiation showed organized patterns that shouldn't exist in nature. Random space noise was supposed to be random, but this looked almost like television signals. She called her colleague Dr. Jin Wang, waking him from sleep. Jin, you need to see this. Something is broadcasting structured data through deep space. 30 minutes later, Jin arrived at the lab, his hair messy and clothes wrinkled. This better be important, Yuna. I was having the best dream about. He stopped talking when he saw the data on her screen. What am I looking at? Compressed video transmissions, Yuna said quietly. Someone is broadcasting high-definition video signals across interstellar space. The compression algorithms are more advanced than anything we have on Earth. Jin sat down heavily in a chair. That's impossible. There's no human technology that could generate signals this powerful or this sophisticated. For the next 6 hours, they worked together to decode fragments of the mysterious signals. What they discovered made their blood run cold. The transmissions contained footage of Earth, footage taken from space, showing human cities, human faces, human daily life. But the audio was not in any human language. Play that section again, Jin said, his voice shaking. They watched footage of the recent earthquake in Japan, but the narrator speaking over the images used clicking and whistling sounds that hurt their ears. Listen to the tone, Yuna said. Even though we can't understand the language, listen to how they're talking about us. The alien voices sounded amused, entertained, sometimes laughing at what they were seeing. When the footage showed Japanese rescue workers pulling survivors from collapsed buildings, the alien commentators seemed to find it funny. They're mocking us, Jin realized. These aliens are watching us and making jokes about our suffering. Yuna's hands trembled as she decoded more of the signal. The footage showed scenes from all over Earth, Seoul's busy streets, New York's financial district, Cairo's ancient pyramids, but all accompanied by alien commentary that sounded dismissive and cruel. We need to tell someone about this, Jin said. This is the discovery of the century. We have proof that aliens exist and they're. Wait, Yuna interrupted, studying a new section of data. Look at this timestamp. This footage of the subway accident in London? It was broadcast before the accident actually happened. They stared at each other in horror. That's impossible, Jin whispered. But as they analyzed more footage, the pattern became clear. Many of the natural disasters and accidents shown in the alien broadcasts had been recorded before they occurred on Earth. Either the aliens could see the future, or they're causing these things, Yuna said, her voice barely audible. They're making these disasters happen so they can film them. Jin ran to another computer and began searching through historical data. The communication satellite failure during the peace talks in Geneva last month. The computer virus that crashed the Asian stock markets. The weather patterns that created that hurricane in the Caribbean. All of it, Yuna said, understanding dawning in her eyes. All of it was artificial. They've been manipulating our world to create better television content. They worked through the night, uncovering evidence of alien manipulation going back months. Every major disaster, every failed peace negotiation, every economic crisis had been subtly influenced by outside forces. Humanity wasn't just being watched, they were being controlled like actors in a cosmic reality show. At dawn, Jin made a secure phone call to his friend Hyuk Lee, who worked for South Korea's intelligence service. Hyuk, I need you to come to the lab immediately. And bring someone with high-level security clearance. What I'm about to show you will change everything. 2 hours later, the small laboratory was filled with government officials, military officers, and intelligence agents from multiple countries. Dr. Nari Choi, a specialist in electronic warfare, flew in from the United States. General Kwon Seo arrived with a team of experts in alien technology, something everyone had thought was science fiction until today. Show them, Hyuk told Yuna. On the main screen, alien footage played showing human cities, human families, human children playing in parks. The alien voices chatted and laughed while watching scenes of human life, treating Earth's entire population like animals in a zoo. How long has this been going on? Asked General Kwon. Based on our analysis, at least 8 months, Yuna replied. But they might have been watching us much longer before they started broadcasting. And you're certain they're causing our disasters? Asked Dr. Nari. Jin showed them the evidence, satellite malfunctions that matched exactly with alien broadcast schedules, weather patterns that had been artificially enhanced, computer networks that had been subtly modified to cause maximum chaos at precisely the right moments for good television. They're not just watching us, Jin explained. They're directing us. We're unknowing actors in their entertainment programs. The room fell silent as everyone absorbed the magnitude of the discovery. Humanity had spent decades wondering if aliens existed, never imagining that they were already here, already controlling human events for their amusement. What do we do now? Someone asked. General Kwon stood up slowly. Now we decide whether we're going to remain their entertainment, or whether we're going to show them what humans are really capable of when we're angry. Dr. Yuna Kim looked at the alien footage still playing on the screens, showing her own planet being treated like a cosmic joke. For the first time since making the discovery, she smiled. I think, she said quietly, we're about to give them a show they'll never forget. The room filled with determined faces as humanity prepared to write its own script for the first time in months. General Kwon Seo stood in the underground bunker beneath Seoul, staring at a wall covered with photographs, maps, and alien signal data. Around him, the most brilliant minds from 12 different countries worked quietly at computer terminals, their faces lit by the glow of screens showing impossible things. Status report, he said calmly, though inside his heart was beating fast. Dr. Yuna Kim approached with a tablet full of new information. We've identified 17 alien monitoring stations throughout our solar system. 3 are hidden behind our moon, 8 are positioned near Mars, and 6 more are scattered between Jupiter's moons. And they still don't know we can see them? Kwon asked. No, sir. Their technology assumes we're too primitive to decode their signals. They're not even trying to hide from us anymore. In the 6 weeks since discovering the alien broadcasts, world governments had worked together in complete secrecy. The public continued their normal lives, unaware that their planet was being prepared for something unprecedented in human history. Engineer Day Lim looked up from his workstation, excitement in his eyes. General, we've made another breakthrough. The alien technology uses quantum frequency modulation that we can reverse engineer. Give me 2 more weeks and I can build weapons that use their own principles against them. Across the room, tech specialist Borahan was hunched over a different project. She had been working non-stop to create communication networks that the aliens couldn't intercept or manipulate. The quantum encryption is complete, she announced. Every military base, every government facility, every critical system is now connected through channels they can't access. But the most important work was being done by Dr. Jin Wang and his team of hackers. They had discovered something the aliens never expected: human creativity in breaking computer systems. While alien technology was more advanced, it was also more predictable. Humans, with their chaotic and unpredictable thinking, could find weaknesses that logical alien minds couldn't imagine. I'm inside their secondary systems, Jin reported, his fingers flying across multiple keyboards. They've been sloppy because they think we're stupid. I can access their monitoring stations, but not their main broadcast network yet. How much longer? Kwon asked. Maybe 3 days. Their main system has better protection, but I found a backdoor they probably forgot about. While the technical teams worked, military forces around the world prepared for something that had never been done before: a coordinated attack on alien technology. Captain Ari Song led the Space Force team that would strike the monitoring stations near Mars. Commander Hyuk Lee commanded the lunar operation. Colonel Shin Park coordinated the attacks on stations hidden in the asteroid belt. The plan was simple but dangerous. At exactly the same moment, human forces would attack every alien monitoring station simultaneously. But the real surprise would come from Jin's hack of their broadcast network. Instead of showing humans as entertainment, the aliens would suddenly see something they never expected: humans fighting back. Meanwhile, far above Earth's atmosphere, Commander Crone and the Vexarians continued their broadcasts, completely unaware that their subjects had become their enemies. "Excellent work on the financial crisis," Crone told his crew as they watched footage of humans dealing with another manufactured economic disaster. "The audience loved watching them panic about their money. The ratings were our highest ever." Producer Zix manipulated her control panels, preparing the next entertainment event. "Sir, I've arranged for a massive storm system to hit the Asian coast next week. The humans will spend days trying to evacuate their cities. It should provide hours of amusing footage." "Perfect," Crone said, settling back in his command chair. "These creatures are so predictable. Show them a disaster, and they either panic or try to help each other. Both reactions are entertaining for our viewers." None of the aliens noticed the slight changes in Earth's electronic signals. Dr. Nari Choi and her team had been carefully modifying human technology to look normal while actually preparing for war. Satellites that appeared to be broadcasting television were actually coordinating military movements. Internet traffic that looked like social media was actually encrypted military communications. "The beauty of our plan," General Quan explained to his commanders during their final briefing, "is that they expect us to be predictable. They think they understand human behavior because they've been controlling it. But they've never seen humans when we're truly angry and working together." The alien broadcasts had shown one crucial weakness: the Vexarians had become overconfident. They had been manipulating primitive species for centuries and always won through superior technology. They couldn't imagine that humans might adapt fast enough to become dangerous. "Remember," Quan continued, "we get only one chance. If we fail, they'll realize we discovered them and they'll either destroy us or disappear to find easier targets. We must hit every station at exactly the same time." Dr. Yuna Kim stood up from her workstation, exhaustion clear on her face but determination in her eyes. "General, the timing calculations are complete. We've accounted for light speed delays between all targets. When you give the signal, every human force will strike within a 2-second window." "And the broadcast hijack?" Quan asked Jin. Jin smiled for the first time in weeks. "I'm ready. The moment our forces attack their monitoring stations, I'll take control of their network. Instead of showing humans as entertainment, I'll show them humans as warriors. The entire galaxy will see what we're really capable of." As the final preparations continued, the alien entertainment ship continued its orbit, recording footage of human cities, completely unaware that those same cities were now hidden military command centers. Commander Crone watched his screens showing human families, human children, human workers, never realizing that every human on the planet now knew about the Vexarians and was preparing for war. "Schedule tomorrow's broadcast for maximum galaxy-wide distribution," Crone ordered. "I want every alien civilization to see our latest episode. These humans are about to provide us with our most entertaining crisis yet." He had no idea that humanity was about to write their own script, and that the next broadcast would be the last thing he ever expected to see. The countdown reached 0 at exactly 14:30 Universal Coordinated Time. In that moment, everything changed. Commander Crone was enjoying his morning meal aboard the Stellar Viewer when the first explosion lit up his screens. The monitoring station hidden behind Earth's moon simply vanished in a burst of white light. Before he could even stand up from his chair, 17 more explosions followed in rapid succession across the solar system. "What's happening?" he shouted, his 6 arms frantically working the control panels. "Report." "Sir, we're under attack," screamed his communications officer. "All monitoring stations are being destroyed simultaneously." On Earth, Captain Ari Song watched through her ship's viewscreen as her missile struck the Vexarian station near Mars. The alien technology, so advanced and mysterious for months, crumpled like paper under human weapons that had been redesigned using the aliens' own principles against them. "Target destroyed," she reported calmly into her radio. "Moving to secondary objectives." Commander Hyuk Lee's lunar assault team had already eliminated 3 stations and was advancing on the 4th. The aliens had built their monitoring posts to be invisible to primitive human technology, but they had never imagined humans would attack with weapons that used alien science. "This is impossible." Crone roared as damage reports flooded in. "These primitives don't have space-capable military forces. They can barely reach their own moon." But even as he spoke, human ships appeared on his sensors throughout the solar system, moving with coordinated precision that should have taken decades to develop. The creatures he had been laughing at for months were destroying his entire operation with military efficiency that impressed even his veteran crew. Then something even worse happened. Jin Wang, sitting in the underground bunker in Seoul, pressed the final key on his computer. "I'm in," he announced to the room full of anxious faces. Broadcasting in 3, 2, 1. Every screen in the Vexarian entertainment ship suddenly went blank. Commander Crone stared in horror as his communication systems, his broadcast networks, and his monitoring equipment all displayed the same message: signal hijacked, Earth transmission incoming. Across the galaxy, billions of alien viewers who had been expecting their daily dose of human entertainment instead saw something that made them sit up in shock. The screen showed not bumbling, primitive humans, but coordinated military forces destroying advanced technology with surgical precision. "Citizens of the galaxy," came a calm human voice in perfect galactic standard language. "This is Dr. Minho Park speaking for the planet Earth. 4 months, you have been watching us as entertainment while the Vexarian collective manipulated our world for your amusement. That ends today." The broadcast showed human forces systematically destroying every alien monitoring station. Ships that the aliens had claimed didn't exist moved through space with deadly purpose. Weapons that shouldn't have been possible for primitive humans tore through Vexarian technology like it was made of cloth. "We discovered your broadcasts 8 weeks ago," the human voice continued. "We learned that our disasters, our conflicts, our suffering were being manufactured for your entertainment. We discovered that you saw us as animals in a zoo." Commander Crone watched in growing terror as the human broadcast showed footage of alien manipulation, weather modification systems, satellite interference, economic disruption programs, all revealed to the galaxy with scientific precision. "You made one critical error," Dr. Minho Park's voice said as the images shifted to show human laboratories where alien technology was being reverse-engineered. "You assumed we would remain primitive. You assumed we couldn't adapt. You forgot that humans learn fastest when we're angry." General Quan Seo appeared on the screen, standing in front of displays showing the complete destruction of Vexarian operations throughout the solar system. "This is General Quan Seo of the Earth Defense Force. In the past 8 weeks, we have decoded your technology, built weapons that use your own science against you, and coordinated the largest military operation in human history." The galactic audience watched in stunned silence as human forces completed their mission. Every Vexarian monitoring station was gone. Every piece of alien surveillance equipment had been eliminated with precise timing that demonstrated planning and coordination that primitive species weren't supposed to possess. "But we are not finished," General Quan continued. "The Vexarian entertainment ship still orbits our world. We know you're watching this broadcast, Commander Crone." Inside his command center, Crone felt ice-cold fear for the first time in his long career. How did they know his name? How did they know anything about him? "We could destroy your ship right now," the general said, as if reading his thoughts. "But we want you to deliver a message to the Vexarian collective and to any other species that might consider treating inhabited worlds as entertainment." The broadcast showed Earth from space, but not as the primitive world the aliens had been mocking. Instead, it showed a planet defended by advanced technology, protected by military forces that had achieved in weeks what should have taken years, inhabited by a species that had proven capable of incredible adaptation when threatened. "Earth is no longer your entertainment," Dr. Minho Park said, his voice carrying to every corner of the galaxy. "We are now an equal member of the galactic community, whether you invited us or not. Any attempt to manipulate or exploit our world will be met with the same response you have just witnessed." The screen showed human ships taking positions throughout the solar system, establishing a perimeter defense that hadn't existed 2 months earlier. "Commander Crone," General Quan said, looking directly into the camera as if he could see through space to the alien ship, "you have 1 hour to leave our solar system. If you are still here after that time, we will demonstrate why you should never underestimate what humans can accomplish when you make us angry." The broadcast ended, leaving the galaxy in shocked silence. Aboard the stellar viewer, Commander Crone stared at his screens showing human military vessels approaching from multiple directions. The species he had considered primitive entertainment was now hunting him with weapons that used his own technology against him. "Sir," whispered his navigation officer, "what are your orders?" For the first time in centuries of easy victories over primitive worlds, a Vexarian commander gave an order he had never expected to give: retreat. "Get us out of this system. Now." 3 weeks after the counterstrike, the galaxy had become a very different place. In entertainment centers across dozens of worlds, alien audiences gathered not to laugh at primitive humans, but to watch in amazement as Earth's story continued to unfold. Dr. Nari Choi stood in the rebuilt broadcast center that had once been controlled by Vexarian technology. Now it belonged to humanity, and the signals going out to the galaxy told a completely different story than before. Broadcasting to all galactic civilizations, she announced into the microphone. This is Dr. Nari Choi of the Earth Defense Network. Today marks the 21st day of human independence from alien manipulation. The screens throughout the galaxy showed not the crude, primitive images that Commander Crone had been broadcasting, but something that made even advanced civilizations pause in respect. Human cities were rebuilding faster than anyone thought possible. Technology that had been developed in secret during the 8 weeks of preparation was now being used openly. Engineer Day Lim had become something of a galactic celebrity. His workshop, where alien technology was being improved upon and redesigned, was visited by representatives from 12 different worlds. They came expecting to find primitive humans struggling with concepts beyond their understanding. Instead, they found innovations that their own scientists hadn't thought of. The key to human success, Day explained to a group of visiting Zentorian engineers, is that we don't think like you do. Your technology is logical and predictable. Ours is creative and chaotic. We find solutions by trying things that shouldn't work, but somehow do. The Zentorians, whose civilization was thousands of years older than humanity's, found themselves taking notes on human engineering techniques. But the real change was happening in space. Captain Ari Song now commanded a fleet of human ships that patrolled not just Earth's solar system, but 3 nearby star systems where other primitive species had been discovered by various alien entertainment networks. This is Captain Song to the Thrakian observation vessel. She transmitted to a ship that had been secretly filming the inhabitants of Kepler 442b. You have 10 minutes to cease your surveillance operations and withdraw from this system. The Thrakian commander, who had been operating with the same arrogance that Crone once showed, initially refused. You have no authority here, human. This system is outside your territory. Wrong, Captain Song replied calmly. Any system where primitive species are being exploited for entertainment is now under Earth's protection. We've made this very clear in our broadcasts to the galactic community. 15 minutes later, the Thrakian ship was retreating at maximum speed, its surveillance equipment destroyed by human weapons that had been improved far beyond their original Vexarian designs. Commander Hyuk Lee had an even more important job. He led the team that was making contact with species that had been entertainment subjects for years, sometimes decades. It's incredible, he reported to General Kwon during their weekly briefing. The Altarians on Kepler 438b had developed spaceflight technology 50 years ago, but every time they tried to leave their atmosphere, mysterious equipment failures forced them back. The entertainment networks were keeping them trapped on their own planet. And now? General Kwon asked. Now they are free. We've taught them to detect and block alien interference. Last week, their first interstellar ship reached our position. They want to form an alliance with Earth. This was happening throughout the galaxy. Species that had been kept as cosmic zoo animals were learning that humans had broken the system that enslaved them. Word spread quickly. Earth was protecting anyone who asked for help. But the most important broadcasts were the ones that went back to the Vexarian homeworld. Commander Crone, who had barely escaped Earth's solar system with his life, now sat in disgrace before the Vexarian High Council. The entertainment empire that had made his people rich and powerful for centuries was crumbling. Explain to us, demanded Supreme Leader Vextar, how a primitive species destroyed our entire operation in a single day. They adapted faster than we thought possible, Crone stammered. In just 8 weeks, they went from not knowing we existed to building weapons that could destroy our most advanced technology. And now? The Supreme Leader asked coldly. Now they control the broadcast networks we spent centuries building. They're using our own systems to protect other species throughout the galaxy. Our entertainment empire is finished. The Supreme Leader studied the reports of human activities with growing concern. In 3 weeks, Earth had liberated 17 species from various entertainment networks, destroyed 43 surveillance operations, and formed military alliances with 6 different civilizations. What do our analysts predict? He asked. Sir, replied the Chief Intelligence Officer, if current trends continue, the humans will have military dominance over this entire galactic region within 2 years. Their technology is advancing at a rate we've never seen before. Back on Earth, Dr. Yuna Kim was working on humanity's most ambitious project yet. The same broadcast network that had once been used to humiliate humans was now being converted into an early warning system for the entire galaxy. Any species that discovers unusual interference in their technology, mysterious disasters, or signs of hidden surveillance can contact us immediately, she explained in her daily broadcast. Earth's defense network will investigate and, if necessary, respond with force. The message was clear throughout the galaxy. The age of primitive species being exploited for entertainment was over. Dr. Minho Park, who had started as just another human scientist being secretly filmed, now addressed the galactic community as Earth's chief diplomatic representative. "We don't seek to conquer or control anyone," he said in his weekly broadcast. "We simply refuse to allow any civilization to be treated as entertainment for others. The universe is big enough for all of us to live with dignity and respect." But his final words carried a warning that every would-be exploiter in the galaxy understood. However, if you choose to see other species as nothing more than animals for your amusement, you'll discover what humans are truly capable of when we decide to stop being entertaining and start being dangerous. The galaxy had learned its lesson. Humans were no longer subjects in someone else's story. They had become the authors of their own destiny, and they were determined to help others write their stories too. The entertainment was over. The real show had just begun.